HIV has claimed more than 36.3 million lives globally. Sri Lanka has a relatively low-level HIV epidemic though, with a prevalence estimated below 0.1%, which is lower than most countries in Asia. The National STD AIDS Control Program estimates a total of 3,700 people living with HIV in Sri Lanka in recent years. While there is currently no treatment for HIV, recent times have seen the development of effective drugs that enable most afflicted with the virus to live a long and healthy life. With us today is the HIV Hero Award winner, founder of the Prajna Collective and the Program Officer of AFAO under the Sustainability of HIV Services for Key Populations in Asia program, Sriyal Nilanka. And Sriyal was diagnosed with HIV when he was 25, 9 years ago. You know, when you found out you had HIV, how did it all unfold to you, your family, your friends?
This was back in 2013. I got tested privately as a routine checkup. I was asked to come back and submit a second blood sample. When I asked them why, they sent me to the lab technician, and the technician sort of said, oh, it's possibly because you're positive, maybe, you know, we don't know. But that was quite jarring for me because I wasn't expecting it. Then I was also like, it wasn't the setting that I wanted to hear that in. So it was quite difficult. I wish I was told in a very different circumstances. And my parents were in the States, so I had to tell them over Skype. So that was quite tough.
You faced it all, stigmatization, discrimination. What is it actually like for those living with HIV?
Generally, because the biggest problem is that the self-stigma, the internalized stigma, the narrative hasn't changed about HIV, so people still believe that it is a death sentence. And it's quite confronting when that happens. Apart from that, people aren't able to speak about it with friends or family because they're afraid of being ostracized by them, and that puts them in a very sort of isolated position. I often speak to a lot of people who are unable to either leave the country or find something other than their current job or family environment because they're unable to talk about it. So it's quite sad.
So there are a lot of myths that surround HIV. Now, what are some of these harmful myths that actually need to be broken?
Right now, I think the biggest one is that AIDS means death, or HIV means death. That kind of, the stigma still persists because there hasn't been enough done around changing the narrative around it. That's one of the biggest myths. And also how HIV is contracted. In terms of like kissing, hugging, people still believe that that's a mode of transmission, even though it isn't. And generally about treatment and how effective treatment is.
So what are some of the key steps that need to be taken on the path to improving awareness, treatment, and also the prevention of HIV in Sri Lanka?
What I recommend usually is, if you are sexually active, learn about sort of sexually transmitted infections, go and get tested often, and make it a part of your routine practice. In terms of prevention, if you do get diagnosed, starting it early is the best option. And it is also a preventative method to have been on medication for over 6 months and have an undetectable viral load, because it's part of the prevention mechanisms. We also have PrEP available in the country at the moment. You can get it from the Colombo Clinic, and you can go to this website called knowforsure.lk, and then you book an appointment to get PrEP. So those are the sort of prevention methods. In terms of stigma and reducing stigma, being informed and sort of following information that is given by either the CDC or WHO, that's a really good place to start because that has verified information. Because sometimes even information we get from medical professionals here could be biased. So always cross-referencing what you hear with something that is verified would be the best.
So good luck in all that you're planning to do, and for what you do for people with HIV, and also for the support system that they need when they really need it, that you're around. Thank you so much, Sriyal.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So if you do enjoy Kaleidoscope, don't forget, subscribe and follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and LinkedIn.